Hello, Abigail here with another Pick a Pile reading. This is a special little reading. It is a singles love reading. So, firstly, we're going to have these three piles, however, but then we have a little special add-on where I'm going to do two separate piles, 1A, 2A, or 1B, 2B, if you will. That's going to offer more information, and you can pick whichever one you feel most aligned with. We will go through how to pick these piles. In the first set, we're going to go through you, and that'll be your energy check-in to see if you feel like that applies to you, the other person, and then your connection slash relationship, and then the extra piles, that separate little groups, those two piles are going to be about timing, how you might meet them, and any synchronicities that you might experience around the time of meeting, or union, which I heard someone else use, which I think is very sweet. So starting off, let's get into picking this. So I rolled the Astro dice, and this is what I got. With pile number one, we actually have one, which is the first house. This is about identity and how we are perceived and how we move through the world and the things we might be associated with. The card on the bottom of the deck was the Six of Wands, and this is about victory and success and personal power and about moving through and past difficulties into your own level of magic and divinity. So that's pile number one. Pile number two, this was very synchronistic. So the Wheel of Fortune is actually the card of Jupiter, and we got Jupiter here. Jupiter is about abundance, growth. It's also the planet that indicates marriage a lot of the time. So I do wonder if this isn't a very committed pile over here. We also have the Wheel of Fortune, which is about luck and abundance because it is associated with this, about happy circumstances and things turning out all right. So very powerful pile here. And then pile number two was very interesting. We have the sign of Taurus. This is about stability, survival, growth, consistency. But then we have this Nine of Swords, which I found interesting that the cards told me to pick this one, which is about fears and worries and anxieties. I will say, if you are feeling especially worried about finding your person, this might be the pile for you, but it remains to be seen because we have yet to read. Anyways, these are your piles. Take your pick, and we will get into the first part of this reading. See you at your pile. Hello, pile number one. This is your reading. This is your pile for you, pile for the other person. I will say, if you feel like they are swip swapped or swap swipped, that either pile can apply. I just picked these for clarity and organization. But if you feel that they are reversed, that is totally fine. Follow your intuition. This pile is about your connection and the qualities that your relationship will have. And then we'll be using this deck to glean and attain more information. All right, if that all sounds good, we will take our lovely Astro dice, put it up there, pop this baby over, give it a shuffle. We can work all of the cards back in, including the card. Actually, we'll keep this, including the card that I think is on the top, because I think if it comes back out, then we have an extra message in there. And I feel like that's the best way to do this. So the first card that came out, and I think I might do this for the rest of the readings, was the Ace of Cups. I truly believe that this is a brand new connection. So if you're wondering if this is about someone you know, it's not. And if you don't feel like that aligns, go find a different pile. I will also say with the number one, it's all ace number one. It's giving fresh news, someone you haven't met yet, or someone that you haven't really developed any kind of a relationship with yet. So keep that in mind. I'm going to these to the side while we do our other piles. Let's get into you. So starting out, we're going to take this card, the Cauldron, creation, opportunity, and caring. All right, so this being your card, you're a very caring, nurturing person. It doesn't have to be like stereotypical nurture, but you are someone who wants to take care of people. You like to feed people. Cooking or planning or events might be something that you enjoy doing. Just anything that kind of brings people together, takes care of them. You're very affectionate and loving, but you do tend to show that affection and love through what you do for others. Doesn't mean there's not other ways that you show affection and love, but one of the primary ways is that you do it by taking care of people and including people. You also are a curious person who likes to explore and create and try new things. You are the person who will add an extra ingredient here and there, someone who will, you know, if there's a recipe and doesn't quite taste good, you're not afraid to be like, oh, I know what this needs. I'm going to add a dash of lemon juice or a little bit of oregano. You are very intuitive when it comes to your creating and your stuff. And if it's not food, it is something else. It's something that provides for others, that gives people a sense of belonging and care. You probably have a broader friend group, or you are someone who desires a larger friend group, even if you don't have one right now. Like you don't have to have masses of friends, but you definitely are someone who enjoys larger groups. We have courage. You are safe. Fear is an illusion. Set strong boundaries. You are a fighter and you are very brave. You have been through a lot. I think part of the reason that caring is one of the signatures of your personhood is because you have not experienced care and you know what it feels like to not be cared for. And so caring for you is, and creating things and allowing a person a space to feel safe is something that you have started to create for others because you have had to be so brave. And you know what it feels like when someone does not reciprocate or care or give the love you deserve. We also have Neptune here. Neptune is important to you. It might have a prominent place in your chart. If it doesn't matter because you are someone who is highly intuitive, very in touch with your feelings. You may have lots of dreams and lots of messages from the divine. You are very sensitive. I think with Courage in the Cauldron, you have had to learn to protect yourself. I mean, we have set strong boundaries here. You have had to learn to say no. If you haven't already learned that, that's something you're on the journey to. So there's just, you're a very magical, intuitive person. You might even be with the Cauldron and Neptune. You might even be a practicing witch. And this is genderless, so you don't have to be identify as a woman to be a witch. Um, but you have found your power and your magic in the limitlessness of your ability to care and protect and um, provide for others. And something that you're learning on your life path is obviously courage and, and also boundaries and learning to overcome fears that were put in place when you were very, very young. All right, so let's pull a few cards for you. We have the Four of Swords. We have the Ten of Swords. This is what I would consider to be your present energy. It feels as though, yeah, it feels as though you feel trapped currently. You feel stuck. With the Four of Swords, you're in some kind of state of enforced rest, whether that is unemployment or an illness or a disability, or just things are really slow. And with the Ten of Swords, you know, you're feeling very overwhelmed by your situation, by the things that are going on, which is interesting because you have the King of Pentacles. Other people see you as extremely stable. Other people are like, oh, you'll be fine, which I'm sure you don't enjoy hearing. And you're like, maybe I will, but I am suffering. So in this current energy, there's overwhelm. Also with the Four of Swords, you feel very alone. I mean, especially with this image of this person kind of sitting by a window, brushing their hair out. You know, you are isolated, this trapped figure in the Ten of Swords. You are having to face a lot of things by yourself. This pile might also not have a whole lot of family support. With the King of Pentacles, you have had to become the ruler and the power in your own life. And while it's very commendable and you have done amazing things, it is exhausting and it is tiring. And you are at the point where you're like, if I don't get some form of support, I don't know how long I can king king this stuff and be bold and courageous and brave in the way that I need to be. Let me pull one more card for you. We have the Hierophant. Yeah, you're just a really well-rounded, knowledgeable person. I also think you have been through a lot in your life. I think with the Hierophant, you might have had a fairly religious upbringing that it looks like you, in the very least, you have claimed and made your own, so you're not like following other people's like dogma and design. You are someone who pushes back against the systems rather than following it. If you notice in this, the Hierophant has this kind of divine face that they are removing to reveal this kind of creepy image. And so it feels like whatever you were raised in, whatever you were forced to believe when you were younger, you have unmasked and unpacked. And that's probably one of the reasons why you're isolated. This group, I could very easily see you being very no or low contact with your family. And I think a lot of the desire for a relationship isn't just a desire for love and romance, which it still is, but it is a desire for belonging. It is a desire for home. It is a desire to be able to build a life with someone. And in society, it can be very hard to do that unless you do it in the context of romance and building your own family. So for pile number one, if this feels like you, I want to give you a hug. It's not been easy. You're still looking for your person. Also, all of the images in these cards are very alone and isolated. So I feel you. Also, Neptune can be a very isolating planet. It's so expansive, it can almost feel empty sometimes. And so your desire, your energy moving into this is wanting to find something to stabilize you, wanting to find love, wanting to find connection, wanting to build something, especially with the King of Pentacles and the Hierophant. You are looking for someone to build something with. And with the Hierophant, I would not be surprised if this pile is looking for marriage in the future, or at least a very secure relationship if marriage is not a goal for you, but one where you're like, this is my person, this is my home, these are my things. You want delineated lines. You don't want anything to be wishy-washy. All right, so now we're going to get into, I'm going to put this up here, cover up our ace for a minute. We're going to get into your person. What are they like? Where are they at currently? What qualities do they have? We're going to start with this card. We have the Sun. Oh, healing energy, happiness, comfort, and joy. This is someone who is just a ray of sunshine. This is someone who brings healing and connection and care into all aspects of their life. They're someone that people absolutely love to be around. This is someone who is, at least on the surface, very extroverted, very spontaneous. They love warmer weather. They love the summer. This might even be someone with lighter hair. Doesn't necessarily have to be blonde, but someone who like tans easily in the summer, has like little blonde tips when they spend a bunch of time outside. I'm also mentally getting kind of the image of like the ocean. This is someone, or a lake. This is someone who like summer fun is really coming through for this person. Um, Also feeling kind of stark contrast at this pile, at least so far, where this person feels like very cared for and supported and loved on their journey. A delight. Yeah. Delight, count your blessings, enjoy life, take pleasure in simple things, always expect to be the best, or not to be the best. Well, actually, maybe it's actually always expect the best. But I think this person is looked up to in their community as someone who is very good at what they do, very intelligent, very smart. Yeah, this is giving very different energy. Pile, person number one is feels very isolated, and I do wonder if, when we'll get into meeting and stuff in the extended piles, but I do wonder if when you meet them, you think you're not compatible because you're like, this person like has a completely different life from me and like has hope and joy and a loving family. And I don't have those things. And a lot of the systems I've built are around, oh my goodness, a lunar eclipse. That is interesting. Lunar eclipse. So they have the sun, but then it's a lunar eclipse. Okay, let me think about this. So a lunar eclipse is a full moon eclipse. A solar eclipse is a new moon eclipse. Um, this is someone who seems really bright and cheery on the surface and has had a lot of wonderful stuff and support. But under the surface, there are other things going on. It's not as simple as it appears with this lunar eclipse. They have had really big, impactful situations in their life that you wouldn't know just to look at them. And so while they have all of this lightness and brightness and delight and joy, there is a part of them that has depth. So don't worry that this person is just silly, goofy, and isn't going to be able to match your depth or have empathy for your very deep and valid feelings. This is someone who has experienced dark nights of the soul, but other people may not know because of what they give off, which honestly is one of the reasons they are probably drawn to you, is because you understand what it feels like to be in these places and you don't judge people based on their exteriors, although you might judge them a little bit. You might be like, who is this little beam of sunshine? It's giving very much like black cat, golden retriever energy, but like golden retriever energy with hidden depths with this lunar eclipse. Makes me wonder if maybe they weren't born around a lunar eclipse, which kind of leads to a very intense life. It's just not apparent to the outside eye. Or I know we're going to talk about meeting later. I could even see eclipse season being an important time in your relationship. But that's what's coming through. I can't just tell the energy, no, it's not time. Oh, and then we have the moon. Yeah, this person is like still waters run deep. They seem silly, they might seem a bit frivolous, they might seem like someone who doesn't understand or can't empathize with someone's difficulty, but deep down this is a very, very deep emotional person. And one of the reasons that they are drawn to and they are attracted to you is because you have the depth and the experience and the just richness that they have sought out, and they often end up attracting people who are more surface level because of how they kind of come off, and it's just not been enough for them. A lot of their past heartbreaks, if they have any, have definitely been around incompatibility when it comes to depth and empathy and things like that. Not that their exes were bad, they just didn't have the same kind of goals when it comes to values and um, really like digging into difficult topics. Let's see what else. Oh, this is not a surprise, but they're not being the most forthcoming. Here we go. Six of Pentacles. Yes, this is a really giving person. And this Six of Pentacles really reminds me of the cauldron over here. They are also very giving. Something you will share is this desire to host and care for people, to have people in your space, to, and now you're giving a bit more introverted. When you, I'm not saying this pile's a party animal. You like to take care of people, but they do too. And a part of the way they take care of people is by having people in their space, by hosting people, by sharing their resources, by showing up for people. With the moon, this is someone who very much, if someone needs help, will drop everything to help them. They could probably learn some boundaries from you or pile number or person number one. The Chariot. This is also giving a lot of, so there's the sun, which is associated with Leo and the summer months, so like Cancer, Leo and Virgo. But we also have the Chariot, which is the card of Cancer. We also have the Ace of Cups, which is very Cancerian, and the Moon, which is very Cancerian. So this person could very easily be a water sign, could very easily have a lot of water energy. They might have a prominent fire placement that kind of throws it. So where you're like, oh, I can't really tell what zodiac sign they are. But turns out they are actually a bucket full of water and not the fire brand that they definitely give off. It's feeling like fire sun or fire rising, maybe. There is definitely a little earth in there with their desire and their kind of the stability that they have within them. Let's get them one more card. But yeah, this is someone who is on a journey of exploring themselves with the lunar eclipse. It feels like a lot of their inner stuff has kind of had a bit of an issue coming out. Like when they were younger, they were bypassing, they might have been disassociative, they might have really leaned into being like the funny one or the friendly one. And like if they ever had problems, they might have struggled to share it. But now that they're getting into, this person's definitely feeling like late 20s and beyond. Like they're not babies, basically. Late 20s and beyond. And it's actually kind of giving almost Saturn return. So like 28 and up, maybe on the other side. I think it just depends on you. But they're definitely someone. Oh, well, do I want to keep all of these? I actually do want to keep some of these. But I think these are the cards for the relationship. And there's exactly 3 of them here, which would fit our 4 patterns. So we're going to put that over here, and I'll put my tarot deck aside so I have space. So this is someone who has been on a journey, who has had to learn things, who has made mistakes, who has, I think, hurt people in the past because of this kind of avoidant nature. Being a delight is not easy. I say that tongue in cheek. but they are at a point where a lot of their growth is coming together with the world. This is also a person who is willing to participate in past life work, which is not always the case. So this is someone who is willing to do the hard work. Um, it's kind of a magical combination here because there is this element of light and bright, and then also this element of, just how dark the cards. This deck is kind of dark, but how like blue and purple the cards are. This is a very um, thoughtful, intuitive, spiritual person. Now, do they practice spirituality? I don't know that they do, but they are very intuitive. They are very spiritual. You know, they are very connected to their feelings. They may not have always been, but they have experienced stuff that has kind of pushed them to connect, to listen to their bodies. All right, so that's them. They have depth, they care. You guys have similarities, but also very stark differences, which I think is a really great combination here. I do want to get the Astro Dice. I do want to roll the Astro Dice and see, as we get into your connection, what are some of the themes that might be important? Ooh, interesting combo. So we have Mars, we have the 12th house, and we have Gemini. This relationship requires fluidity, being able to see multiple sides of things. Also, with Mars, a very nice, intimate, spicy connection is here. Um, but the connection is not frivolous in the least, a 12th house connection. I think what I would warn both of you, if I could sit you two down and talk to you, is not to idolize your partner. 12th house placements, if you guys have any, or like specifically if you or the other person ends up in your 12th house in one way or another with their planets, because I'm also an astrologer, it can lead to idolization of a person. So don't idolize your partner. Your partner is a human. And with Gemini, they will be very human, and you will be very human. I do love Gemini because it is a card of the lovers. It's about two very different people coming together and sharing the same passion, and not just kind of like regular average passion, like deep past life, karmic, heavy passion. Like this is a long-term dynamic. I think the only pitfall is, well, it's not really a pitfall. With Gemini, you guys really need to communicate, and with the 12th house, that can be a bit tricky because it is so hidden. It is so kind of immense in a sense. And so, in this relationship dynamic, this is a crazy connection. I do think it means that you guys have, especially with Gemini and the 12th and Mars, you have an instantaneous pull towards each other. Now, will person number one maybe resist it a little bit because they're like, this is not a person I've ever considered dating, and like everyone loves them, wants to talk to them, and that's just not really my vibe. And you're a little worried that either they're not interested because they have so many people interested in them, or, and this is not like low self esteem. You're being very pragmatic here. You're like, we don't seem to have the same energy vibe. They have tons of people like going after them, and I am not someone to like fight over a hug ass because they will be attractive. I can tell you that now. Um, you're just like, I just don't fight over people. Like if someone wants to be in a relationship or love me, they will tell me and we'll get together. And if not, they won't. And they clearly have tons of options, and I don't see it happening. And this person sees you and is like, this is it. This is the one. And I want to look into this, but I'm pretty for sure they pursue you. That's the energy I'm getting here. But let's take a look at what we have. We're going to look at the astral house of what might be a topic of this. Happiness. Yes, yes, yes. You two are coming together to create happiness in your own unique way. You have this Ace of Cups. This is something new for both of you. This person may have experienced happiness in other ways before, but it was not their own happiness. It was the happiness of others that they were going for. And being with you allows them to create their own happiness. We have, you can do hard things. It is not as impossible as it may feel. You will experience hardship in this relationship, but I will say this, most relationships have hardship in them, especially if you're together for any period of time. And I especially think with your Astro Dice, which I'm going to set up here on their little delight blank space, I think that you are perfectly matched to do hard things. You have tenacity and life experience and deep spiritual knowledge, and they have stamina and they have a optimism and a hope that you might lack sometimes. And so you two together are going to be able to weather something that is hard. Life is just hard by nature for most of us. And so you two together, it is not as impossible as it feels. Being with this person makes stuff that normally would have thrown you for a loop feel like the easy, not the easiest thing, but feel like it is possible, and feel like rather than something devastating and overwhelming and that you're never going to overcome, it feels as though you can do this together. We have full moon in Pisces, balance spirituality and practicality. Yeah, I think you guys temper each other beautifully. And I love that we have all this, like, we have Neptune over here, which is the uh Jesus, why am I forgetting? It's the modern ruler of Pisces. We have all of this blue over here. You have some blue. There's just a feeling of two very powerful and different people coming together and balancing each other out perfectly. Like, when you bring spirituality, they bring practicality, and when you bring practicality, they bring spirituality, and you guys balance each other out. I do think Pisces season might be something very important for your relationship. Either one of you has a Pisces 7th house, which would be a Virgo rising, or Pisces is just an important place or time of year for you, Pisces season. Or it could be when you meet. We'll look into the other piles to see, but that could be a sign. Spirits don't hold boundaries when it comes to giving information. Celebration, a positive outcome is assured. Celebrate your success, enjoy your achievements. Yes, you guys are going to overcome and you're going to celebrate. And I think together, and I love how all this is like so blue and like ties in perfectly. And the parts of you that are more practical are, you have like yellow and orange, and they have yellow over here. And then it just feels so perfect in like such an organic and rich way, this connection. You have so much to celebrate together. You both have goals and dreams that you will support the other person in. You are both more fearless because the other person is in your life. You get to experience such a beautiful sense of wholeness and of joy in this connection. There's just a magic in this bond that you get to have. And no, is it always easy? Of course not. But you guys, with your black cat, golden retriever vibe, come together to create a space that I think not only is enriching and happy and joyful for you, but when other people experience, they're like, shit, how do I get this? How do I find this happiness? How do I get this joy? How do I find someone that I connect to in the way that these two connect to each other? And then with your cards, we have Three of Pentacles, Strength, and the Ten of Cups, which I think is really beautiful. It was literally what I was just saying. Like, you two know how to build community together. You know how to create a safe space for people with the Ten of Cups. You're not only feeding and watering your own life and your own romance, but other people benefit from this dynamic with your energy. Also, the first cards we pulled are like Cauldron and the Sun. Everyone shares the sun and everyone shares a meal. You guys are like the perfect combination of a safe place for your community. And with Strength, you're also willing to put in the work in order to make the situation work, especially when, differences do arise. We do have Mars here, and Mars can be conflict, but you know how to handle it. You know how to move through things with tenacity. You know how to be brave. And both of you kind of gives the other person what they don't have. And when one of you is down and out, the other one is up and ready to support, and vice versa. I also think, because these cards are like where this person is at, is this person has finally moved on from some really earth-shaking past relationship, is what I'm feeling, where they had to learn to set boundaries, where they may have thought the person they were with last was their one and only, and it wasn't them. But it means that they are ready and prepared now for the work that they know has to go into a long-term relationship. And they also are being pretty specific about what they want. They're not just going to end up with anybody. Sorry. I don't know why I've got a little tickle in my throat. they're not going to just end up with anybody. You are a very special individual person that they are going to find and they are going to love and they are going to meet and they are absolutely going to adore you. And in your relationship, you are going to build something that is long lasting, something that is joyful, something that has sticking power, and something that isn't just practical but is also spiritual. I love that fact that we have like pentacles and then we have cups. It's this very Capricorn, Pisces, well, Capricorn, Cancer, Taurus, Scorpio, and Virgo, Pisces energy in here. This ability to kind of flow between worlds. No, it's not completely, you know, yin energy, which is feminine energy, which I don't like to binary, but it is more of that flowing, receptive energy. You do have some more, you can see the fire in here for sure, and a little bit of air as well. But there is such a beautiful connection in this relationship, and you guys are going to create a world of delight and stability and comfort that creates happiness, not just for you, but for everyone else. I think this is going to be a beautiful relationship. I will say, I think the one thing that I would say for both of you, once again, if I could sit down and talk with you, is to be patient. I don't know that it's going to take forever, for sure. We're going to look into that in the other two readings, but this is a very unique connection. And the more unique a connection, the more specific that divine timing gets, the more kind of on the nose you two connecting at the same time is. This is not going to be happenstance. The universe is going to be bringing you all together and putting you in a specific place and specific time to meet a specific person. Anyways, my loves, this is my reading for you. You can now go to those other two piles to pick either one or two as your option, to choose which path you want to go down when it comes to timing, synchronicities, how you might meet, all of those things. Anyways, I'm very excited for you. If you enjoyed this reading, please, maybe even right now before you move to the next one, like and subscribe. Also, if you want to pop a sun or a moon into the comments to just show that you were here and that you claimed this reading, that might be a fun thing to do. Anyways, I will see you at your other options. Many blessings. Hello, pile number 2. This is your pile. Over here we have you or person A. Like I always say, if you feel like person B is you, that's fine. But for sake of simplicity, I will be calling this you and this your future partner. Down here is going to be the connection that you're going to share with them or the quality of your relationship. We'll also involve the astro dice as well. And this tarot deck is going to be what we're going to use to kind of sort through the energies. So we're going to put your astro dice here for now. We're going to take this deck and I'm going to shuffle this card back in case it comes out as another message. And also something that happened is when I was shuffling this in the first deck, a card fell out. So we're going to take that as our first card. We're going to draw one card as we move in through here. That's crazy. Now we did get 2 and I'm trying to decide if I want to pull this. I think we're going to keep this one, and I'm just not going to look at that one. Well, I might look at it. Okay. 2 of Swords. We'll put that back in the deck. But that's crazy because the Ace of Cups is what fell out of the deck for pile number 1. And it sat here the whole time. So this is a new relationship as well. You may or may not know this person. We'll get into whether you might possibly do that or not. But you definitely aren't romantically involved and have never been romantically involved in this person. And with the Ace of Cups, there's a good chance you haven't had much of an emotional connection either. So it's not a friend either. But that's wild. I'm just going to keep it. We'll let the synchronicities be synchronizing. All right, so this is you, your energy. We have Basil, prosperity, luck, and love. You are a wonderful person. You might be an earth sign with all of the green, possibly Virgo, Capricorn, or Taurus. You are someone who, whether you feel lucky or not, you bring luck to other people. Being around you brings prosperity and joy into other people's lives. And you just have this energy of growth and abundance and prosperity. Even in times when you're struggling, people are going to be like, wow, you're so cool. And you're like, yeah, I mean, I am cool, but could use a little help here. But there's a magic about you. There's a joy and a care. You might like planting things or having houseplants or having a garden, or that might be a dream for you. We're going to pull this. We have support. Ask for help, get more rest, nurture yourself. Yeah, you are a very giving person. You were very supportive. You were very loving. You were very kind. Um, I do think of the guidance in this, asking for help. You could probably benefit from asking for help, for looking for support, for um, being more open to people coming in and supporting you. You give so much to everyone else. You're getting a little message here to give more because you are such a supportive, caring person. And then we have Lilith, yes. And this isn't the Black Moon Lilith, I don't think. I think it's the other one. Because there's multiple Lilith placements. I'll have to look it up. But let me do my research. Because I know there's multiple ones. I usually do the Black Moon one. But let me dig into here and see. Might be the asteroid Lilith, actually. Yes, it is. Yep, it's the asteroid, not the Black Moon. So good to know, good to know. Some of the symbols of this are owls, crescent moon, snakes, wands, cats. You are a witchy person. And, Lilith is Adam's first wife in the Garden of Eden, and she stood up for herself and has been villainized for it ever since. And so I would not be surprised if you were someone who, whenever you have advocated for yourself in the past, have not gotten pretty hefty blowback from people who want to continue to use you. You might be villainized when you stand up for yourself, when you no longer are that kind of passive good luck charm that some people see you as. It definitely feels like you might still be on this journey through standing up for yourself, through allowing yourself to be vilified when you do things for yourself, when you support yourself, when you care for yourself. It's unfortunate, but you deserve the same support that you give to others. And you may not have gotten that. Also, with Lilith, you've definitely been like painted as the other woman or treated as someone who's done something they have not, in order to like shift the blame from someone else. Which is ironic because you're such like, and this is not in like a bad way at all, but you're like, you're giving garden gnome energy, or like little gnome, helpful, loving, affectionate. This is not about your appearance. This is just about the vibe I'm getting. Like, there's a comforting care in here, but then there's this kind of dark side of Lilith. And I think if you haven't fully already tapped into it, I think you should, because people can go F themselves if they don't like the full spectrum of who you are and what you are. I think there's a lot of reclaiming of your energy in this, specifically with romantic relationships. You might be someone who has been mistreated or misrepresented by a partner, or blamed for something when it wasn't your fault. Anytime you take your power back, it just feels like people get real spicy about it, which is not fair, and not just. Taking a little drinky drink. All right. Now to see where we are in this moment, what we're doing. What are the vibes? And like I said, this is kind of your energy check. We have Justice. Is my deck upside down, or did I just put the cards back weird? I don't read reversals, whatever. I think I just put the card back weird. Ugh, annoying. Anyways, so we have Justice. You are someone who wants to know the truth and who goes for the truth at all costs. This is also Libra energy. Also with the 1-1, that might be a synchronicity or a sign. But you want to do what's best for everyone, which is what has gotten you villainized, because not everyone wants to do what's best for everyone. Yes. And then we have the Ace of Wands. You are so ready for a relationship, but you are not going to cut corners. You are so ready to meet someone, but you are also like, I am not going to be thrown out of balance again by someone else. I am not going to be mistreated. I'm not going to be talked down to. I'm not going to, like, you're not taking more than you deserve, but you're like, I'm not accepting bad behavior anymore. I'm not accepting cruelty. I'm not accepting abuse. but you are very ready to meet someone with this Ace of Wands. You are excited. You're also moving things around in your own life currently. Yes, Knight of Wands. Oh, yes, you are very fiery. You also might have planets on the Libra Aries axis. Um, there's a lot of spice and fire in here. Um, you are ready. You're moving forward. You're taking steps to find someone. You're looking for love. We bring in these two cards. Six of Pentacles, which is very much this Basil card and the support card, and the Page of Swords. Yeah, you're curious, you're interested, you're someone who's always learning something new. You never sit still with the Six of Pentacles. You are giving and caring. You love to make sure that people around you feel protected, feel abundant. You're someone who might be very encouraging with your words or with your actions. You're just all around a good egg. And I think there's a part of you that might still be hiding this Lilith energy, but Lilith was also a good egg. Lilith just words, recording this during Mercury retrograde. Lilith just didn't put up with BS. And that's what got her villainized. And you can still be the Six of Pentacles and Lilith all at the same time. And I think that's something you're actively on a journey to understanding, or something that you've recently been like, oh, this makes sense. So you're a caring person with a bit of a dark undertone. I think you also might be not perceptible to the human eye, but you might be someone who has a lot of very spicy or kinky desires. People might see you as kind of bright and cheerful, and you might be a little darker. A little darker in your personal life. Doesn't necessarily have to be sexual. I think also there's like just a depth to you that some people don't pay attention to, partially because they are so focused on exploiting you a lot of the times. That is changing. It does feel like you've cut people off recently. It does feel like you've moved things around. But you are ready for someone new because you've learned those lessons. So, speaking of someone new, I'm going to put this down here for now. Actually, I want to move this like I did the last pile up here. We're going to go into your person. So starting off, we have Autumn, Bounty and Balance. Ooh, this person's feeling just instantly. I'm getting like very mellow vibes, very like pumpkin pie and hot chocolate and bonfire energy. This person might be born in the fall. Ooh, so sexy. I'm getting like a little chill. It's like, oh, this person's like stable and abundant and rich and but like balanced. It's not like bombastic energy. It's like soft and smooth. Ooh, this is like a psychic energy that's like, oh, yeah, this is someone special. And then we have abundance. Enjoy the beauty of life. Your supply is unlimited. Blessings are coming to you. Yeah, this is someone who is wealthy. This is also someone who is stable. They might be a bit older. They're more secure in themselves. They've seen a couple of autumns. They already have money. I think one of the signs that your person is coming in is this person's got cash. And it doesn't necessarily have to be all money. It can be other forms of abundance. It can be friendships. It can be family. It can be a rich cultural history. I do still think that they have cash. Just going to say that. But this is someone who is rich and bountiful, and they might even be genderqueer or a part of the queer community. Regardless, they are definitely attracted to whatever your identity is. So don't worry about it. You are a part of that group. But this is just really powerful, secure, emotionally secure energy. This is someone who is caring and thoughtful. They might be more quiet, more passive with the abundance. I think like their kind of external like appearance might belie their wealth or might not align with how much they have. Not that they look crusty or anything, but they might be more undertoned, and they might like live simply and things like that, but then like be surprisingly well off. And then we have Psyche, which is an asteroid. I do want to just double check to make sure. Asteroids are the place where I'm not always the most secure. I've got my four asteroid goddesses down, but ooh, this might also be symbols associated are roses, poetry, wildflowers, and butterflies. I also love that you both got asteroids, which there are planets, there are moon phases, there are astral houses in this deck. But you both got The asteroids, I personally think you should look up these asteroids. You can do it on astro.com. Roses, poetries, wildflowers, butterflies. Um, let's see. Yeah, psyche is about pointing out other people's expectations of us, how we should behave. Um, it is about your intuition. This is a very sensitive person. Yeah. Keywords: passion, empathy, sensitivity, psychic awareness, beauty, and kindness. So, firstly, hot as hell. People might be jealous of them, but like it's a jealousy that you can't really justify because they are so nice. Um, this person is passionate, they're sensitive. Part of the reason they might be a little more low key is because they have gotten hurt before, and so they're a little more wrapped up in themselves. Like I said, with kind of like the stark difference, like we have this very soft autumn card and then abundance, which is like rainbows and unicorns. Um, this is someone who might have been hurt before and might have been hurt because they did have so much. So this might be someone who actually genuinely, and this happens so rarely, has like been gold dug. Like someone has genuinely gone after them for their money and it was very hurtful. Doesn't mean they get to take it out on you, and I don't think that they will. But this is also someone who is very psychic. Now, do they tap into it? I'm not sure that they do. And if they do, they don't talk about it very much with that autumn card. But this is someone who is very stable. And I'm just going to pull the bottom of the deck because it caught my eye and it has popped up several times. But this is Emperor energy for sure. Also interesting that we, have Jupiter, which isn't necessarily related to Emperor energy, but Jupiter is this power, this abundance. This card feels very Jupiterian the way it is put together, the way the king is kind of staring off, the large hands, the beard. Um, this is someone who knows themselves. They're not going to take out their past trauma on you. Do they still have trauma? Yeah, Psyche has trauma. But this is someone who is very powerful. This is someone who has a certain amount of privilege in society. Let's pull some more cards. They are stable for sure. We have the moon, which is interesting. Pile number one got the moon as well, but this is someone who's in touch with their feelings, and they are not going to take out their emotions and their feelings of insecurity on you. They know what it feels like to be mistreated. They know what it feels like to be misunderstood. They know what it feels like to have your emotional and physical gifts and talents kind of used against you. And so this is someone who's never going to weaponize you. And I think something that is really attracts them to you is how loving and giving and gung ho about life you are, because this pile definitely feels a bit more muted. The abundance card is the only thing that's popping. And so there is an element in here of them knowing what pain is like. Now, they might be a little moody sometimes, but I get the sense that you both can be a bit moody. And so there's kind of a pairing here, not in like a mean way, just like you both of you get in your feels. And it's important that both of you can like respect and understand the other person's feelings. All right, we'll take these two. So we have Four of Swords and Seven of Wands. Yeah, this person's been really struggling when it comes to love. Um, you're ready to go. You might have had some dates. You're getting revved up. You're curious. You're exploring. And this person has hit some walls when it comes to their dating lives. With the Four of Swords, they're kind of struggling to get out there. They might also be struggling to like feel safe enough to start dating again. They're just like, ugh, that last relationship left such a bad taste in my mouth, or that last date was just a bit much. They are still trying with the Seven of Wands, but it feels like every time they like attempt a romantic encounter, they like go back and are like, and now I'm not going to go on a date for another 4 weeks or 4 months because it just wasn't a fun experience, and I know what I want, and every time I go against my intuition, I'm not finding my person, and I know that my person is there, but it's just like, where? I'm gonna pull one more because you ended up getting an extra card as well. Fair is fair. Oh, and then they gave me two. Well, we'll take both. Yeah, this is someone who has absolutely had to walk away from a relationship, and walk away from a set of circumstances. They might have had to walk away from family connections. I don't think they're completely without family, and this is coming from someone who is. So, no tea, no shade if you are. But they're definitely someone who has had to cut people off, who hasn't moved away from things. Might be someone who like moved away from a city after a breakup or left a certain area after a heartbreak. It could be a family betrayal, it could be a personal romantic one. But we do have the Knight of Pentacles. They built themselves back up and they are, in fact, ready to find their person. They're just very much like, I only want my person. So going on dates is torture because they're like, I'm going to know my person when I know my person, and my person, I have yet to meet them. And so when they meet you, they are going to absolutely know that you are their person and they are going to pursue you. Now, will the pursuit be very quick? Probably not. It will be very slow and steady. You may not even know that they're attracted to you at first. You might even think you're just friends. Um, but no, they are definitely going to be in pursuit of you. You will also pursue them with the Knight of Wands. I will just say, like, don't sell yourself short. Um, I also feel like you and this person might be in very different places in your life. Don't worry about it. You two will come together very beautifully, bringing both your unique identities and situations into this, and you'll make something really beautiful out of it. But we will get deeper into that by looking into this pile. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to throw the astral dice to see what messages. When we get Jupiter again, I really think y'all are getting married. We have the third house and we have Aries. There is spice, there is fun, there is passion in this embrace and in this relationship. There is spontaneity in the bedroom. There is just a lot of joy and a lot of fire. Now, is there an element of both of you maybe being a little quick to anger? I think you might be a little faster to anger than them, yes, but healthy fighting is a good thing, is a healthy thing in dynamics. We also have the third house, which is about um, close relationships, friendships, relationships that feel like siblings. I don't think you guys feel like siblings, but you do feel like you've known each other before. This could also be someone that you may have known of in the past, but like never fully met, or just someone that you feel like you've been aware of. Could be very past life energy. With Jupiter, you are both going to be bringing so much abundance and joy into the other person's life. So much power, so much wealth. Travel is involved. I think you two are going to travel a lot. Well, the third house isn't necessarily travel. It's on the axis with the ninth house, which is travel. So I do think you're both going to be curious. It's also academics. The third house also houses things like museums. So it feels like you two will be traveling a lot. There's a spontaneity in this connection. I think they're especially less spontaneous, but people are going to be like, wow, you really bring out that side to them because you definitely are giving more. More playful, spontaneous energy. Now, maybe you haven't been able to be spontaneous because of resources and stuff in the past, or you've just been cautious with it. But with this person, all money bags, you are going to be able to do a bunch of things that you never thought you could do. And you're going to build a home and a community together. Getting into your cards, we have love. Your relationship is very based in love. Not that the other ones aren't, but love is the main driving force. Love is what you share with each other. You bring love into other people's lives by the amount and the depth of the love that you share with this person. It's just really beautiful. And it's also a love that you cultivate over time. The third house is about curiosity and exploration. It's associated with Gemini. And there's just this feeling of you guys constantly falling in love over and over again and finding out new things about each other, especially with Aries involved here. And it's just a really sweet energy. Ugh, makes me want to cry. You do not have to go it alone. Reach out for support at this time. You two are the person the other person has been looking for. You both have, I would definitely say that both of you are people who are like, I would rather be single than be with someone who doesn't align with me. And when you find each other, you're like, I don't have to do this alone anymore. I found my person. We're going to face the world together. We're going to see this through. We're going to find and build all the things that we couldn't do separately. Like, I'm not saying that you're broke, but you definitely don't have as much financial stuff as they do. Just the sense I'm getting. But like, you bring in the richness of ideas and the support and the encouragement, and they bring in the material stuff and their stability, and you guys build something really magical together. We have past lives. Oh, yes, yes, yes. I said something about past lives, didn't I? With this one, you all have been in past lives together. Release your past life karma. You are an old soul with deep wisdom. Healing your past lives will raise your vibration. Yes, you are healing a dynamic in this past life. You are finishing out a cycle. This is a victory lap for the both of you. Doesn't mean you won't see each other again next time around, but it does mean that you're finishing up a cycle that was left unfinished last time you were together. I do think so. With past lives, I do past life work. It's very rare for people to be lovers multiple past lives all the time. Usually it's like a ping pong of like different dynamics, but it feels like for you, you definitely have had several past lives as lovers, and it definitely, it didn't work out, whether one of you passed early or life just didn't allow you to be together. And in this lifetime, you are going to get to be together. I do feel like this group is a bit of an older group, so like 30s and above. I don't think that's old, but like if you are under 30, this may not be your pile, or you might be waiting a little bit to find your person, because this person over here is definitely closer to their 40s and above. Um, just so you know. And then we have full moon in Virgo, you are good enough. Yeah, this person, neither of you is ever going to make the other person feel like you are not enough. Both of you are going to make the other person feel like the most bountiful, bounteous person. I also love that both of your final cards was a pentacle. You got the 6, they got the 9 of pentacles. There is just such a richness to your connection. Interestingly enough, the 9 of pentacles is Virgo. It's the first, I think it's the first, yeah, first deacon of Virgo. And the 6 of pentacles is the first, no, the second. No, let me get this straight. This is the second deacon of Taurus. This is the second deacon of Virgo. So there's a lot of earth energy. You don't have to be an earth sign, but this is very earthy. But you two are good enough. Nothing that you or your partner is going to do is going to make you feel less than. Even if you have disparities in wealth or disparities in experience, it's never held over the other person's head. You're never going to be made to feel small. You're never going to feel like less than because of anything that your partner has. You are both going to bring your assets and your resources together and create something really beautiful and really long lasting. All of these readings so far have felt like longer term partnerships for sure. We have the 4 of Wands. Oh, that's so beautiful. Yeah, you are building a home together. You are building a sense of stability that is built on passion and joy and hope. You are connected through multiple past lives. This is a part of your destiny to build something together, to bring both of your unique senses of abundance. This is the harvest and this is the basil. You know, you bring in immediate abundance, you bring in growth, and they bring in culminations and that comfort of being able to sit in an energy of abundance. You are kind of the flowing abundance and they are kind of the stable abundance. But you are building a home, you're building a place that you both feel safe. You are building something to be celebrated. We have the King of Swords. Yeah, you both you're both powerhouses. You're both energetically strong, and just like the good enough energy and the not having to go it alone, you both have power in your own right and are encouraged by the other person to explore that power and to dig into it. You stand up for yourselves. That's very much the Aries energy and the Jupiter energy of like, you don't, in your relationship, you don't sacrifice parts of yourself for the other person, and you don't have to, because neither of you wants that from the other. Both of you, I sense, have had to sacrifice stuff for other people in other past romantic relationships. Oh my goodness. We'll actually keep all of these, but I'll just put my deck away since we are. Yeah, this pile definitely got an excess of cards. But you're never neither of you is going to have to sacrifice a part of yourself for the comfort of the other. You're both very at home and comfortable with other people having power. You don't need to isolate people in order to feel like good enough or like you belong in the relationship. We have the Lovers. Guys, match made in heaven. This is so synchronistic, so beautiful. This is also the energy of Gemini in the third house. You know, you're also curious and creative and willing to problem solve. No, not everything's perfect, but not everything has to be perfect because you have each other, which is really beautiful. We also have the Tower. You know, life is not going to be easy all the time, but we do have the Three of Wands and the Nine of Cups. It's not that life is hard because you are together. It is that the difficulties in life are made easier because you are together. And with this Nine of Cups and Three of Wands, you are both seeking to fulfill dreams. And a part of the dreams that you are seeking to fulfill is finding this other person. And so when you come together, there is going to be such a beautiful wealth of ideas and creativity and thought. And when stuff does hit the fan, you two come together to figure things out with this King of Swords and the Nine of Cups and Three of Wands. And you're not afraid to move forward. You're not afraid to explore. You're not afraid to discover. And neither of you has to worry that you're going to outgrow the other person because both of you are committed to growth. Both of you are committed to creating a world and creating a home and a life together that is fun, that is flexible. I feel like you two will travel together, that is exploratory. And so when the Tower comes, you guys are just like, okay, so what do we do now? Versus like, oh no, we're not meant to be together. Or one of you tapping out because they just can't take it anymore. The other person is too much. Um, you have found your match. And while you're kind of an unlikely pair, the longer you are together, the more people are like, oh, this makes a whole lot of sense because you are so secure with each other and so loving and so supportive that you are honestly the envy of other people. Um, so yeah, you know, both of you are definitely, you know, seeking out love at this time, and it's just a matter of you finding each other, and being open to finding each other. I also think, and this is something that came through for pile number one, I think it's going to be in probably the same for pile number three at this point. But like, you guys are so uniquely destined for each other that the timing is going to be real exact. And we'll get into the timing into the other options that you can go pick after this, but you are meant to meet this person and be with this person regardless. And both of you, with the cards that you've gotten, are ready to commit to your past life contract, which can be a problem, but it's not a problem in this case. So, you know, we'll look at timing and stuff, but be excited because this person is here and this person is willing to work and to adjust. They're not going to make you sacrifice parts of themselves. They're not going to trigger your Lilith wound. They will hold space for you while you have that, just as you were going to hold space for their psyche wound, where people take advantage of their beauty and their gifts and their sensitivities. Um, People have taken advantage of your power, your personal power. So yeah, this is a really, really beautiful connection. I'm really excited for this pile. If you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe. If you want to let people know you were here and to claim this reading, go put some hearts down below in the comments before you move on to this next portion of the reading. But anyways, I wish you so much joy and a happy meeting with this person. Many blessings, and I will see you at the other options. Hello, my lovely pile number three. You selected Taurus and the Nine of Swords. So how this is going to go, this is your pile or pile one. If you feel like they are reversed, absolutely reverse it. It's just so that I can speak about this clearly. This is person two or your future partner. And this is your connection in the future. So we will get into it. I will set this aside. We're going to use this deck to suss things out. We'll put the Astro dice up here and we will get into your reading. So starting off, we have you, or person one, Moth, mystery, concealment, illusion. Ooh. So you are someone who keeps a bit to yourself. You may present as one thing and then, you know, be different for other people. I don't think this is like sneaky or manipulative. I just think this is something you've had to learn as part of a survival mechanism. You also might just like being a dynamic person that's allowed to do what they want. And so the moth is your ability to shift and change. You can hide in a pile of leaves and look like a pile of leaves. You can flutter your wings and look like a much larger predator. There is a sense of power in this card. You are someone who knows what you want and knows how to stay safe. Then we have flow. Find an easier path forward, surrender to the outcome, release your expectations. You might have a little bit of issues with wanting to be in control as a safety mechanism, but in this time, and I think in finding this relationship, you are being asked to release and flow. And I think one of the lessons you will learn in this connection and in this dynamic is this ability to surrender to the outcome, because I'm getting the feeling that the person is not who you expect. Now, I will say, doesn't mean that they're not attractive, doesn't mean that you don't love them, all those things. But it does mean that you are very different, and they are very different. I also forgot that I wanted to pull from here. So we're going to pause your pile. I did this for the other piles and I enjoyed it. They actually got the same card, but this reading is giving me a very different vibe, especially with the Nine of Swords being your card. I put it back in case we pull it out again as a sign of synchronicity. But let's see what card we are given. All right. Page of Cups, actually not that far off. The other two got the Ace of Cups. I do think that this is a brand new relationship. If you do know this person, you're not that close. With the page, you might have met them before, but it's very much giving new dynamic, new shift, curiosity, a connection to the emotional. Also, this is going to be a relationship that you've never experienced before. Whatever your past relationships are, if you have any, this is very different. I do think for some of you, this might be like a newer version. Either you haven't been in a long-term relationship before, or you've never been in a relationship dynamic like this. But this is definitely a fresh new experience for the both of you in one way or another. So back to you, back to our mysterious person number one. You also have Scorpio. Oh, this lines up. So you don't have to be a Scorpio, but there's very Scorpionic energy, Martian energy, the energy of Pluto. You were someone who's a bit more secretive. I like the flow because Scorpio is a water sign. So it's not about asking you to be a different person. It's about asking you to kind of come back into a flow with yourself, to come back to a connection to self and to who you are, rather than having to constantly change and shift in order to protect yourself. You're coming into a new sense of power, it feels like, in this time. And I think one of the ways that you're going to know that this person is approaching is that you are feeling more secure with going with the flow. You're feeling less of a need to hold things. You're also feeling less of a need to hide. Now, you're always going to be a mysterious illusion, but you don't have to put that forward only as a form of protection. That will just be something that flows naturally from you, especially depending on the person you're interacting with. So let's see where you are right now as we're talking about this dynamic, as you are looking for love. At least I'm thinking you're looking for love if you're in the singles romance reading. The Three of Cups. Yeah, you're looking for connection, and you might also not just be looking for love. You're just looking for people you vibe with. You are looking for people to celebrate with. You're looking for people to build found family with. You were looking for your people. We got several cards. Four of Pentacles and the Empress. Yes, yes. You are coming into your power, and it also seems like you're in a phase of financial and material energy where you are trying to protect and conserve your wealth, which is interesting paired up with the Empress, because the Empress is very free flowing. I think there's an energy, the energy is not like squander your money, but there is an energy of like, you don't have to hold on so tightly to this, because things are going to be okay. You're going to find your people. You are an abundant person. Have you been through struggles? Absolutely. We're not going to deny that. But there is a power in you, and you're coming into a sense of your power. And like I said, you're always going to be a mysterious, like dynamic person, but you're no longer doing that as a defense mechanism. You're just like, yeah, that's who I am, and I'm the Empress also. So take that as you will, peons. I do love this energy. Let's see, what's the final? Well, I think this one. Yeah. Queen of Pentacles, yes. You are building your own life. You've done a lot of things on your own. Not all of your cards, obviously Three of Cups has three people in it, but the other cards are all very individual. you are looking for your people. You might have a couple of friends that you really vibe with, and I think they're going to be important on your journey to your relationship. But this is also about you building yourself up. You have come back from something that feels pretty hard hitting, that has left you with a bit of survival, whether it's a relationship or a lost job or something. There's just a feeling of like past lack and needing to compensate for it. But you are coming into a new sense, especially around the time of meeting this person. You are coming into a new sense of power. You're not accepting less. You're not accepting relationships that you have to be minimized in. You're not accepting relationships that don't have equal connection. Um, you're not accepting people who just take, and want access to your resources, but don't want to offer the same access to you. I get the sense that some of you might have experienced financial abuse in the past, or just someone, it doesn't necessarily have to be extreme, but like someone messing with your money. And that's a big deal, and something you've been working on reclaiming your power around. But yeah, I think I do feel the urge to pull one more card. Oh, King of Swords. Yeah, you are stepping into your power big time. Also, this is the energy of someone who's like, if it's not meant for me, I'm not doing it. So I'm not just dating anybody. And this is kind of an energy that the other piles had too, in like a different way. But this is very giving. Like, I part of the reason I'm still single is because I'm not just going to date anybody, and I'm waiting for a very specific person who is meant for me. I love the like crow on his shoulder. That's like messages from the divine and wisdom. Like, you are not settling for less. You are not settling for people who don't align with you. You're also looking for a very strong mental connection in your relationship. And I want to look into your other person because I think that's what we're going to find. But you are coming into a new sense of power. You feel, even if life isn't secure, you feel secure in what you want. And that's very important. All right, starting off, mushroom. Recycling, breaking down problems. Oh, we have a mushroom person. This is someone who is reliable, connected, resourceful. Um, they're good with money because they don't overexpend and overextend in it. They take care of the people who are around them. They are a problem solver. I love that because you're like, I want someone who aligns mentally. It's like, yeah, you're getting someone who is as good at the things that you're good at, which I think is good because I think you're tired of being the only one who's good at these things. Sanctuary, take time out from the world, spend more time alone, meditate or go on retreat. Yeah, this person is going to be your sanctuary. Part of the reason they're going to be able to do that is because they have learned to be their own sanctuary. This is someone who is very, very connected to themselves, very connected to what they want and their desires. They prefer a slower pace of life. Doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be slower as a person, or you have to only move at their pace, but this is someone who is quieter, who takes time out. This is a fellow introvert. Like, I do think that you like to socialize with your friends, but I'm not sure you're a huge fan of groups. This is a fellow introvert. You might have similar hobbies that you enjoy. Like, I'm getting D&D, board games, um, same TV shows, same vibes, same energies. You might have the same like TV shows from childhood. There's a strong connection here. That's what we get when we get mycelium. There's just a deep connection with this person, and they are gentle and quiet, and a space where you can just like let your hair down and like sit around in your underwear in like the most non-sexual way ever. Now, I'm not saying it's not sexual, but you feel very safe and comfortable, and you don't feel a pressure to perform with this person. They know what they want. They are patient. They are gentle. They have such a huge sense of self understanding and strength, and that's real attractive to you. Oh, we have Vesta. I love Vesta. So Vesta is an asteroid, and she is the asteroid of worship, of adoration, of desire when it comes to a safe hearth and home. And so this person is a homebody. Vesta tends the hearth. The Vestal Virgins are associated with Vesta. It is Virgin's original term was meant to be of oneself. So this is someone who is very self-contained. They value home. They value sanctuary. They value protection. They love quiet. This is also someone who is going to create a home for you. You'll obviously create this together, but there is a tenderness and a gentleness that you might be like, no, Abigail, I want someone wild. And it's like, have we not learned our lessons? We must go with the flow. And the flow here is a lazy river in like a tropical paradise, with beautiful nature sounds and quiet flowing water. Um, but let's see where this home body is at. We have the moon. So the moon came out for person B in every single pile. These counterparts are deeply connected to their psyche. They're deeply connected to their emotions and their moods. These people are not toxically positive. They are not someone who will blame things on other people. Might be a little moody, um, but it's not a moody that gets taken out on other people. This is just someone who like will get into like a mood and might like lock in and like build. I don't know why this is coming to mind, but like build a Lego set, or just like lock into something and process their feelings through doing. And it doesn't mean that you can't talk to them or anything, but like in order to vibe with them, you might have to like put some pieces together, or also build an airplane or something. But this is someone who's deeply connected to their feelings and who knows what they want. I think it's interesting, the sanctuary, we also have a moon, you know, someone very aware of not only their inner world, but other people. Oh, 10 of Pentacles. Yes, this is an abundant person. And they're going to bring so much abundance into your relationship. This is material stuff. So this is someone who, a lot of people may not know this about them, but someone made some good investments. And this is someone who wants to build something permanent. Could be family, could be like, it's whatever family is to both of you. It doesn't have to be children, but there is some kind of element of like, what do you want to build and grow? What do you want to um, produce with them? Whatever that is, they are more than capable of it. They have the resources. Yeah, this is a dark horse for sure. This person is not who other people expect them to be. A lot of people might be like, oh, they're kind of like, quiet and a loner. And yeah, while those things may be true, they are very, very community minded, very family minded, very connected to the world around them. They want to bring abundance into the lives of people they love. They want everyone to feel safe. That's very much in line with our mushrooms. Um, they don't want anyone to feel left out or alone. 10 of Wands. So they are currently, however, feeling a bit overwhelmed. I do think they want to find someone, but they obviously haven't found someone because they haven't met you yet. Or if they have, this is the very beginning of that connection. And so this person's a bit overwhelmed by life. I think they want to find their person, yeah, but they're very alone and they're like, but I'd have to leave my house to find them. And we'll look at the extra extended readings that'll be linked below. And by linked below, there'll be a timestamp, but it's all included in this one reading. But yeah, they're struggling to find you because they are alone and they don't want to go out, but they know that you are out there. They know that they will have to find you, and they're kind of struggling because they just want the 10 of Pentacles right now. And they have to get out and they have to seek and they have to look for you in order to find you. With 4 of Cups, yeah, I think the one downside this person is they can be disassociative, but they won't be that way with the person that they love. They are kind of struggling to get out. I think you can blame them for this. I do think maybe some of the reason that you guys might take a little longer to meet is because they are resisting going out and finding someone. Not that they don't want to, it's just that they are tired of the effort it takes and they really would just like to have a home and a family and someone they love. We do, however, have the 8 of Wands here. You guys are going to meet and it's going to be spontaneous. It's also going to be in spite of them, which makes sense with us getting Taurus at the beginning because Taurus is slow. This could very easily be a Taurus or someone with Taurus placements. Taurus is not slow in a bad way, but it likes to build foundations. It likes to move gently. I actually have a deck that has the Hierophant as a mushroom, and the Hierophant is associated with Taurus. And so this person is a slow moving energy, but the 8 of Wands, something is going to happen in their life that is going to boot their little booty out the door. And you guys will meet in like the weirdest, most spontaneous way. We'll look into timing and how and when, but there's an energy of them either finally just being like, screw it, I'm going out to find someone, or the universe conspires in such a way that they're kind of forced to go out. Might even be around eclipses, actually. I always get the 8 of Wands when eclipses are coming. So look up when the next eclipse is. So we're going to move on to your connection. We're going to use the Astro Dice first. we have Mercury, fourth house, and Gemini. So yeah, I said you guys wanted a mental connection. You get a mental connection. We have Gemini, which is all about the mind and thought and movement and opposing ideas. Also, I think you're going to seem very similar, but have a pretty big differences. Like you're going to think you're an introvert, but you haven't met this bitch yet. And so there will of course be a need to negotiate, but there is an alignment. You might even have the same Mercury sign, which means you might be same or opposing Mercury. You might be either, well, with the Scorpio and with this being Taurus, you could be across the zodiac or right next to each other. We also have the fourth house, which is about home and stability and ancestry. You guys are going to build a legacy together. You guys are going to build stability. You're going to build ancestral care and connection together. It's a really beautiful, beautiful thing. And you might be sapiosexual or demisexual with this vibe. Doesn't mean that you're not high libido. It just means that in order to experience a certain form of like connection and stimulation, you need more connection than just hi, you're hot. But yeah, it's a very stimulating relationship. You guys have a lot of fascinating conversations. You have different opinions, but not different values. You might disagree on how to get something, but you agree on the something that you want. A lot of negotiation involved, but at the end of the day, with the fourth house, you guys always come together to create a safe space for each other. All right. Now that we've done this, let's get into your cards. So to start out, we're in the astral house. We have wealth. Nice. Yeah, with that money card over here. You guys are going to build wealth together. It may or may not be something you want, but with this Four of Pentacles, it feels like financial stability is important to you, and there is nothing wrong with that. And this person knows how to financially stabilize. So something that you're going to be attracted to is their stability, and go for it. Then we have you deserve to be seen, let yourself be known. Oh, this is so beautiful. So this is a beautiful, I love this card. You both are going to feel witnessed and loved in your relationship. I do wonder if you guys aren't both neurodivergent. Doesn't have to be the case, but some of you I think are. But you deserve to be seen. You feel safe being seen with this person. Like we talked about at the beginning, you being the moth and like shape shifting and mysterious and all of these things. And in this relationship, you're not going to feel that way. Now, are they going to find you deeply fascinating and mysterious? Absolutely. That's something they're going to find hot about you. But you get to fully be yourself in this dynamic. You fully get to be yourself in this connection. You fully get to be seen, and so do they. And that is something that you both find really attractive, is this ability to be fully witnessed by someone and not feel unsafe and not feel judged. We have beloved. Oh, prepare for your life partner. Romance is returning to your relationship. Believe you are loved. Oh, this is so perfect. Believe you are lovable. You are each other's beloveds. You adore each other. You want to be together a lot. I think that might be a surprise for you. You might be someone who likes your space a bit more, and so do they. And then both of you are like, but I really like your energy. And so I want to be with you a lot. Doesn't mean you don't have your own things, but there's an element of you both wanting to be together more than you ever thought you'd ever want to be with someone. You're like, oh, I always thought that like I wanted to sleep in a separate bed, or that maybe I would never move in with someone. And this person, you're like, oh no, I want to be with you all the time. I'm actually hearing your spirit. I want to crawl inside their skin. You are both extremely hot and desirable, and I don't know why this word's coming through, but scrumptious to the other person. I know that doesn't sound sexy, but you were just like, they just love this. Now we have first quarter moon, your commitment is being tested. I do wonder if at the beginning, one or both of you might be a little shy when it comes to commitment. Not that you haven't wanted this, but you're both, one or both of you has been wounded before. And so I think with this, it might be you needing to address some things really early on that might make you feel worried that the relationship isn't going to last. However, with the beloved and you deserve to be seen, those fears are just fears. They aren't reality. They aren't what this person is. They aren't who this person is, or vice versa. I think some of you might also, at some point in time, you might hit a couple of snags and you might have to ask yourself if this is what you want. And I think you will say yes. I don't think that this is one of those moments where you're going to be um, like, leave it. I think with the commitment being tested is that your past traumas and the ways that people have treated you will trigger you in this relationship, but it is just a trigger. You guys can talk about it, you can work through it, you can explain it, you can implement things that makes the other person feel safe. And so it's not something I'd worry about. I just would recognize that like anything and everything can be talked through. You don't have to, like, just because something seems like something else doesn't mean that it is. And I think both of you have been wounded in some pretty serious emotional ways before. And so, especially at the beginning, you're going to be like, oh no, is this that thing? Oh no, is this that thing? Is this person going to do the same thing that this other person did? And the answer is no. They won't, but you are going to have to work through your past triggers and fears with this person. I think you're more likely to be the one who is triggered, although they will be a little bit. But that's okay. They're going to be there for you. They are going to hold you and love you for who you are. So you don't need to worry about it. Seven of Wands, yeah, just what I'm saying. Like you, I think at the very beginning are going to be a bit defensive. I think also this person is, like I said, not who you were expecting it. So you're like, are we sure? Is this them? Is this the love of my life? I don't know. And I really think that with this person, you are going to have to work through some past traumas. And that is going to make maybe the first little bit a bit uncomfortable, but they are going to be the right thing for you, do the right thing, respond in the right way. They are not going to repeat the cycles that you've experienced with other people, but you do kind of have to get through that first section where you're like a bit head shy with that. Yeah. Three of Swords. You and this person have both experienced trauma and you've both experienced betrayal. And so there will be moments when you will be triggered and afraid, and you will have to talk this through with your person. You will have to discuss with them. Sorry, my dog is asking to get up. I don't know why you want to get on the couch. That is a complete mess right now, but sure. Sorry. That's my dog, Reggie. He's small and golden. But he's now messing with all of my stuff. Anyways, he's settled. So you're gonna have to talk things through. It's also very Mercury and Gemini energy. You have to work things through. You have to talk things through to feel safe. But these aren't red flags. They are simply you having to work through past trauma. And when you get into a relationship with someone, that's what happens. We have the Ten of Cups. Yeah, there is nothing to worry about. The triggers and stuff that you work through are just going to be green flags that everything's okay, because every time you or the other person experiences a trigger, you will talk it through and they will respect and understand that this is a fear or a trauma for you, and they will do their darndest and you will do your darndest to not trigger them again, to not repeat the cycle, because you are creating a dream life together. You are creating stability and love and care and connection and joy and hope. And I think this is something that neither of you thought was possible. And while that is also a thing, you're also building wealth on top of this emotional joy and connection, on top of being authentically you. I also wonder if you two might not run a business together or create something together that is a legacy. We'll take a lot of cards, but we'll take them just because I feel like they're all important. Um, Star, Eight of Pentacles, you guys are destined to meet each other and you're destined to work on something together, like I was saying. You will build something together, whether that is a family, whether that is a product, whether that is a company. There's an element of you building wealth and building connection together. We also have the Seven of Cups and the Knight of Wands. This can happen in a multitude of ways. This is a general reading, but it is going to be something that you're both very passionate about, whether that is creating a home, whether that is creating a family, whether that is creating a business. You are going to birth something together, and it is something that is predestined and preordained and guided by the universe. And then we have Judgment. This came through in pile number 2 as well, but you were destined to meet. This has been a long time coming. The moment is now. The moment of your connection is coming in very quickly, and it is going to happen regardless of what goes on, because the universe is in the very least going to push him out the door, and you are very intuitive, so you're going to be listening. And so you are going to come together, right place, right time, build a unique and dynamic and passion filled life together based on shared values and a unique perspective of the world. And I'm really excited for you. But this is your reading. If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe. Go put little money bags in the comments if you want to claim this reading, and we will go into the other options, the two choices for timing. So pick whichever one feels like it aligns, and I will see you all there. Bye. Hello, group one. So this is the extended part of this love reading. This is all about timing, how you might meet, and any synchronicities you might experience. I'm going to shuffle and pull a card. If you feel like this card applies to you, then this is the timing pile for you. Whoa, Jesus, we have the King of Cups. It's about connection. It's about nurture. It is about intuition and knowing that something is right. If this feels right for you, this is your timing pile. We are going to get into these cards now. Starting off with timing. Let's just get into it. Sacred well, replenish self-care, giving from a place of plenty. Oh, this is very King of Cups coded. So how are we going to know when this is going to happen? It is going to be a time in which you are taking care of yourself. When you are listening to your instincts and your intuition, you are not going to meet this person when you are ignoring your needs, when you are not listening. Now, giving from a place of plenty doesn't mean you have to be rich or wealthy, but it means that you do need to be seeing things from a perspective of abundance rather than being like, and everything sucks and I'm never going to get anything. Yeah. So the energy and the time that this person is going to come in is going to be a time of emotional wellness from you, of a time when you are taking care of yourself emotionally. You might be in therapy, you might have had a breakthrough emotionally recently, but this timing is all about you connecting to yourself and connecting to, sorry, I got distracted, and connecting to your belief in the things that you emotionally deserve. Then we have Gallant. Accept healing energies. I definitely think that this person is going to be pursuing you. Your person is going to be pursuing you. They're going to be coming in as a healing energy, coming in as a person who is fully healed. One of the green flags is that they show signs of healing, or maybe they're even in therapy. You know, this is someone who is nurturing and caring. If we take the King of Cups as an archetype of this person, they are emotionally stable. They have done the work. This also just came through in most of the readings, that this person is not unhinged. But let's look at this. We have the second house. Yeah, very much giving the whole feeding into yourself. This person comes in when you start centering yourself, when you start focusing on yourself, when you start believing in yourself, when you start listening to your body, and really tapping into your talents. It could be you releasing a book or putting yourself forward, but it's you really believing in your second house qualities, which are material and talents and the possessions you kind of enter the world with. Also could be a second house transit, so check that out. I am going to look at 2 months where this might possibly happen. So we're going to look at this first one, June. Doesn't necessarily have to be when you meet them, but this is just an important time in your relationship. Could also just be a breakthrough that leads to important stuff. Like, this is a timeless reading, so you can see this whenever, and it can have different meanings. It could mean that you're meeting them very soon, could mean that you're meeting them later, and we have December. So almost exactly opposite points of the year. Yay. Actually, it is. So there's 6 months is very strongly coming through here for timing, for when you're going to meet this person, for your connection to this person. December and June could be very pivotal times. I'm definitely hearing Cancer season, Gemini season, Cancer season, because they both straddle June, and Sagittarius season and Capricorn season, because they both straddle that. but there's an energy of 6 months in here, a 6 months time frame. For some, I'm definitely hearing that you meet them and then it takes about 6 months to develop the relationship. Um, we're going to use the astro dice. We're going to use the houses as timing. We're actually use all of them as timing. What did I say? 6? Did I not say 6? And did I not say Gemini? What? Love it when the synchronicities come in. So something big about Gemini season. It can also be Sagittarius season because the Gemini full moon happens in this time. And also 6 is here again. So 6 days, 6 months. I don't necessarily think this is 6 years. With the King of Cups, it feels like you're already very like emotionally on this path. And with the second house as well. And then we have Saturn. This has been a long time coming. You cannot hustle the universe on this. You are not going to be able to push this timing forward or backwards. You've basically done everything you need to do. Now, if you want to like focus on your mental health, yes, absolutely. That can speed things up, but it's not going to speed it up by much because Saturn is very methodical. See if there's any more guidance around this meeting. We have a woman dealing with a relationship with a woman. This person could be a woman, or you could be introduced to this person by a woman. Doesn't have to be a woman necessarily, but it does feel like there's someone who is influential in your meeting. So either a friend or a coworker, someone might be introducing them to you and they give off femme energy. We'll say that. We have butterfly, a change for the better. So yeah, definitely things get better around the time that you meet them. It doesn't mean that everything is perfect, but it means that you start to feel better about life. Very much what we were talking about with the sacred well. And then bird flying, news is on the way. Yeah, it definitely ties in with this dealings or relationship with a woman. Like someone is bringing you news about this person. Maybe it's their brother, maybe it's a friend, but this person is coming in, you're being introduced, and then they do the majority, from what I understand, with the energy of the pursuing. You just have to be open to the pursuit. Yeah, it's giving Knight of Wands energy. You are going to be pursued by this person. You will know that it's them because they are going to be interested. They are going to make their desires known. They're going to be attracted to your gifts and your skill sets. Very, very nice, actually. Let's see. What about you? 3 of Cups. Yeah, you're also going to be finding connection. This also is giving other people, bringing you two together. This could also be at a get together or a birthday party or a wedding, some kind of celebration. We do have the Hanged Man. Like I said, there's nothing you can do to move this faster. A lot of this is going to, I know it's not fun to hear, but a lot of this is going to require trust and belief that the universe is bringing this person in. I do not think you're going to meet them through a dating app or through a dating service based on the Hanged Man. Like, this is going to be brought in by other people and other energies. You will find each other in the wild or through the gift of a friend or someone you know. And now let's see, what is the final 4 of Cups? Yeah, do not miss them because it seems unlikely. Also, don't give up hope. They are coming in. This is predestined. Your spirits, your guides, everybody is on board for this thing for you. It's about you believing, and in the meantime focus on healing yourself because things are changing for the better, because things are going to get better, because you are going to find your person, you are going to connect with them, and they are going to pursue you. Like I said, we're looking at 6 months, looking at Cancer, Gemini season, Capricorn, Sagittarius season. It's coming, it's happening. Like I said, I think it's going to happen in 6 months. If you are very young, I could see 6 years, but I would say pre-Saturn return is possibly 6 years. If you're post-Saturn return, we're looking closer to 6 months. So if you are in your 30s or above, things are going to be happening a lot sooner. That is what I have for you. I hope that this was helpful. Know that you are going to be pursued, you're going to be desired, and that a lot of people have your back in this love story. So I'm excited for you. Anyways, my loves, I wish you many blessings. If you chose this reading, maybe put a little cup, little matcha cup down below in the comments to show which one you chose. And I wish you many blessings on this journey and all of the love and romance and connection you desire. Hello, group number 2. This is your timing, how you might meet, and synchronicity pile. anything that might be a sign that love is coming your way. To start off, I want to pull a tarot card as kind of like a little signifier of the energy around this time, so that you can know if this energy is coming your way. Seven of Swords. It would be sneaky. You're not gonna know. I love that. The universe is like synchronicities. Screw that. You're not gonna know, or you're gonna think you don't know that this is coming your way. You're gonna be like, is this the one? I don't know. You might have your intuition clouded a bit. Um, Honestly, the more unsure you feel, the more likely it's about to happen. So when you feel unsure, when you feel like it's impossible, this is the time. And if you're like, I feel that way now, Abigail, then yay. Hurrah. We are going to find out more about this. But I think definitely, I'm also getting seven as something important. So something around seven. It could be July, it could be 7 months. We'll get into it. But, this, it's not going to be obvious that they're coming up. It might even seem impossible. It also could imply that you might think that this person is one person and they might be someone else. So don't put all of your eggs in one basket. Just because someone shows up and seems like the right person doesn't mean they necessarily are. But let's get into your energies. We have the Siren, use your voice, expansion, and freedom. So what is going to help you here? Honestly, glamour magic. Doing glamour magic, taking care of your body, putting on oils, feeling seductive, singing, um, like being loud and proud about your desires, vocalizing your needs with the sirens, like telling the universe what you want unashamedly. Like when you talk to people, being like, yep, this is exactly what I want. Being really upfront about your dreams, your desires, what you need, not holding back. Also with the siren, being a bit of a thing that sailors would shipwreck themselves for, like heightening your desirability, like dressing seductively, doing. And if you're like, this isn't really my vibe, like dressing in a way that makes you feel sexy. You don't necessarily have to dress like societally seductive, but like definitely um dressing in a way that makes you feel desirable, because that's going to draw and bring your person in. Then we have enchanted unity, let animals be your guide. So as far as synchronicities, animals, you're going to be seeing animals left, right, and center: dogs, cats, birds, wild boars, even possibly. Just a variety of animals are going to show up, and you're going to see them 3 times in a row is what I'm hearing. So if you're wondering what a sign is, it's when you just start seeing the same animal over and over again. I think definitely kind of like in the same, like it's not just going to be random animals. It's like seeing a robin 3 times, or seeing a specific breed of dog, or a specific color of cat, or there's just going to be like similarities and like exact identities across the board. But animals are going to be your guide. Also, if you have a pet, something around them might be where you're going to meet this person. So, like a dog park, or at the vet, or I don't think it's all of you, but some of you, your pet is going to be the gateway to this person. So, take them, take them in public. We are going to look at 2 months that are going to be important in your relationship. Don't have to be the exact month you're going to meet. We're also going to use the astro dice. But we have August as one of the times, and then we have March. So August would be, that's interesting. Ha ha ha. So it's not exact, but it was similar with the last pile, actually, where very close months. So August houses Virgo, and March also houses Pisces. So this could be Virgo season, Pisces season. This could be when you meet or when you start dating. This could even be further down the road of like when you get engaged, if that's something that you want. But August or March is a very important time. Might be the time that you plan your wedding. Like I said, if that's something that you want, doesn't have to be, but or there's some kind of celebration around your love. We're gonna dig into this a little further. I forgot to pull this fifth house. Like I said, if it is something that you want, but this could also very much mean that you're going to have kids. If you don't want kids, there is an element of like creativity in this relationship. But if you do want kids, something you're going to know very quickly about this person is them wanting children as well. With the fifth house, this is about creativity. I would also look up where the fifth house is in your chart to see if maybe it's during a fifth house transit or during when the sun is in the fifth house in your chart. That's individual to everyone, so that's something you can go see. But this is also a time of creativity, spontaneity, joy, very much giving sirens. Like there's a connection and a spontaneity around your meeting that is kind of fueled by how good you feel about yourself. We're going to roll these. What did I say about Virgo Pisces? Did I not? Did I not say Virgo Pisces? This happened with the last one. So Virgo season might be the time that you meet them because we've gotten multiple confirmations. 8 is also August. Evil laugh is also August. And then we have the moon. So I do think this is a shorter cycle because we do have the moon here. It could be 8 weeks for some of you, even. The longest I would say, because we have the moon, is 8 months. It could be on a specific moon. It could be on a Virgo moon. You can look up when the Virgo moons are each month. That might be a little too I don't want to say obsessive, but like too fiddly, if that makes sense to you. But definitely a shorter period of time. Virgo season is very important. Pisces season is very important. 8 is a very important number here, so keep all of that in mind. Also, 5 plus 3 is 8, and we have 13 and 5 over here. Saturn's what the last pile got. So this is a faster moving energy. You're not going to be able to clock it. I think the less hyper focused with the fifth house and with the siren you are on it, the faster it will come in. So like focusing too much on it and getting like bogged down by it not happening is not going to be helpful. Then we have the lion, time to act. Yeah. We have the bell, an announcement, and we have a wish granted. So this is coming in. It might be around some kind of announcement that you or the other person makes. Your relationship could be the announcement. Time to act. It is time for you to like start manifesting this, to really lock in. Like I don't think you can change anything, but it is time to kind of get moving on the whole like siren energy, on making yourself feel good. And this isn't gendered. You can be not a woman or not a femme and do glamour magic and make yourself very, very hot. But this energy is what's going to bring these people in. I want to see any information about them as we head towards this. Also, wish granted, I feel is like pretty self-explanatory. Like this is a wish you have, it's going to happen. So you don't need to worry about it not happening. It's on its way, frankly, but you just have to kind of be chill about the timeline. But some kind of an announcement, whether it's yours or someone else's, is going to herald that this is going to happen. So information about them in this situation. The Chariot, yeah, they're on their way. They're moving forward. We also have a 7 with just July, which might mean that you kind of know or hear of them before it happens. This doesn't have to happen in July or August, but I do feel for some of you it is. The Chariot, they're moving forward. They also want this thing. We got the Ace of Swords with you and the Queen of Wands. Yeah, you're impatient, which believe me, I'm in the same boat, darling. But you're impatient, you're ready for this to happen. Focus on what you can control and what you can change, not on what you can't, which is finding a person. So work on your inner life, work on your health and beauty care, work on taking care of yourself, work on your ideas and your passions. You focusing on your passions and your desires outside of romantic relationships. So job, career, hobbies, those things are what's going to bring this in faster. Any information about timing for this group? Five of Cups and a High Priestess. Yeah, I think a part of this is they're not going to give you exact timing. A High Priestess is giving Pisces energy. So what I said about the Pisces Virgo axis. Also, there is a Pisces full moon in Virgo season. There's not a whole lot you can do. Also, something that you need to continue to do is process past grief and past disappointment. Also, don't let your disappointments about timing bog you down. Like, distract yourself with other things, like I said earlier, because like that can be hard. We also have a 7 here, 7, 8. I think it's within that time frame. 7, 8 months, 7, 8 weeks. Any final messages for us? Group 2. to start. It is going to happen. It is divinely predestined, preordained. You don't have to worry. I mean, you're going to, especially with these babies, but allow yourself to enjoy your life in the meantime. Allow yourself to soak in your own magic. Believe that you are desirable is a big part of this. Like the time to act, it's time to act on the stuff that you want to do. Don't wait for this romantic relationship to do other things in life. Yeah, there's some things you can't do without it, believe me, I know. But focus on what you can change and what you can do, because your relationship is coming in, and I think the only thing that can slow it down and bog it down is you ending up in like despair because of it. Also, with the high priestess, start doing some manifestation practices as a way to kind of like have a container for the anxiety. It's a great way to kind of channel that energy into something more productive and more hopeful rather than kind of dwelling on it, because this person is coming and they're moving towards you. And this came through in group one as well, but they are going to pursue you. So like you don't have to worry about missing it. It's going to be a flashing green light. Yeah. Also with the moon cycle, this energy is moving quite fast. So have faith, trust that it's coming. And, even if it doesn't, even if you're one of the few that this doesn't come through in this exact timing, like you maybe have to wait a little longer, maybe August is further away or March is further away. Focus on what you can do and what you do have as an option during this time, because this romantic relationship isn't the only thing you have going for you. It is just going to be a really beautiful, lovely fulfillment of a dream and a wish for you, which it will. So focus on yourself, build up that glamour magic. When you step out the door, be like, I am hot. I am always hot. I look hot. I am desirable. That's what I believe, says someone with a Aries Venus and a Leo Mars. And it doesn't even have to be about getting a relationship. It is just about believing in yourself. And this energy is going to seep into your other parts of your life, into your job, into your creativity. And this building of confidence is going to not only bring in this romantic relationship, but other hopes and dreams as well. Anyways, my loves, this is what I have for you for group two. I wish you all the love, romance, and blessings, and I hope that it comes your way sooner than you expect. Many blessings. Bye.